Hey, you super players out there, Ben Lodice, aka 5 Buck Lunch, coming at you with game 2 of our 5 color versus 5 color challenge. Trying to use those Strength of Legends cards, see if we can get them to work, since they're pretty interesting cards. So as you can see, I'm mulligan down. I've already got one of each color in my hand, so that's good. I don't have to go looking for my red or yellow cards. And interesting and left here, normally you're going to start with green or blue for your starting color. But since I have 3 yellow cards and a yellow 1-drop, I'm probably going to start yellow this game. So as you can see, he starts with a green energy. And plays his Goku to search the top 3. Pretty standard opening move for the 5-color Frieza deck. And he's going to grab his Piccolo. That Piccolo is really useful because it can search any color, since it just gets a 3 or less Gohan, so you can search any of the 4 colors of Gohan that he plays. So as you can see, like I said, I thought about playing a green here, but the reason I didn't is because I kind of like both of my green 1-drops. So instead I'm going to play a yellow and uh, and then play my yellow 1-drop, which just allows me to draw a card. The Android 20 also has an interesting ability, so you can play 2 green and 1 yellow. This is like kind of like a more late game play, but you can play 2 green and 1 yellow, and then you can bring back an Android 17 and an Android 18 with costs 4 or less from your drop area to the field, which is actually really powerful in this deck when you think about it, because you can get what is essentially a 25k draw 2 and then a 25k blocker barrier that kills a card for 3 energy, which is obviously really strong. It's a play you can make on turn 3 if like your colors get messed up, or it's a play you can make on turn 5 after you've played your Strength of Legend and just get a big board presence out and remove a threat. As you can see, he charged an ape. That's one of the cards he said he's probably going to change, is taking out those apes. Because these decks tend to be pretty energy hungry with using your Strength of Legends abilities and playing all your 1-drops to get all your colors and such, it tends not to be very useful to have that ape in hand. You just don't have the 2 energy to pay for it a lot of the time. And it's a 10k combo, so it gets stuck in your hand. So he said he's probably going to switch that up. So that's my turn. As you can see, he's not attacking. The reason for that is because Android 17 doesn't draw on the front side. It awakens at 6, so it's pretty easy to get down to your awakening, and then you can start drawing, but it doesn't actually start drawing on the front side. I get to play my Android 18 and draw 2 cards, and one nice thing about that whole not draw thing is you have a lot of other ways to get cards, so it's not as huge a deal if they stick you on the front side. So I attack, he combos away his card off the board, and then I attack with my 20k attacker. And he takes a life, so he's down to 6 now. Gets his red energy on the board. Pitches a red card so that he can draw 2 with his leader. So now he's got 2 of his colors in his drop area. Or 3, technically, because he comboed his guy off the board as well. I forgot about that. Usually on turn 3 with these decks, you want to leave up 1 energy so you can defend yourself, but he's just going to go for it and play his Gohan. Okay, so he's just going to clear my board. Since the Goku doesn't actually like clear much board presence, it's good to get rid of board so that he doesn't get overwhelmed. Now, as you can see, unfortunately, I'm going to have to charge one of the 2 green cards I kind of wanted to keep. That's due to the fact that I didn't draw any other green cards, which is unusual because green is the most common color in the deck. It goes green, blue, and then 8 red, 8 yellow. And I actually decided to charge the other one. That's a much better play for me because I've only got 1 card in the drop. I want to be able to use Android 17 to pitch a card. Plus, having an extra negate is very helpful when playing in these mirror matches. So I'm going to play my 18 to draw 2. So last time I get 2 super combos, which is obviously very good. So I attack with Android 17, he takes damage, then I attack with Android 18. and he takes another damage. So now I've got my negate set up, and we're all good that way. And I'm still at 8 life, which is, it's good and bad because it means I can't attack, but it also means that my opponent can't kill me in any way. Because the most you can do is like 5 or 6 damage, even with like both Strength of Legends cards. So the first thing he does is use the Goku's first attack to clear my Android 18, which is very useful for him, obviously. Then he's going to use the Goku's ability to stand it back up, so it gains double and double strike, critical, dual attack. And he's going to awaken his leader, so he gets his 2 energy back. So now he can protect himself on my turn. He's going to use his leader's effect to tap down my android. And here I'm trying to figure out what exactly I want to do, whether I want to negate or I want to combo the Android 15, because when you play Android 15 you can take up to 2 life and then untap an energy. And I'm trying to figure out whether it's better to take a critical or to use him, protect myself, and take the 2 life to my hand. And I decided it's better just to take the critical here rather than try and defend myself and then negate with my android. That also allows me to send from my deck to the drop whatever color I still need. As you see, I have 3 blue cards and a black card, so I'm probably going to want to send red or yellow here, since it's going to be pretty easy for me to get green and blue to the drop, or green and red to the drop, since I already have 2 red cards. And I try to do this, which I can't do because you can only send androids to the drop areas. You can't send Frieza. Alright, so I end up sending red. The reason for that is I'm going to have to charge a red next turn to get my 4 colors, and I still want to have my negate up, because negates are really, really important in this. And so he attacks and clears my tapped guy, and then he's going to attack my leader again, which I got to awaken now, so but I'm still 10k power. And I just take the damage because I'd like to get down to 4 so that all my 17s and 18s can be boosted. It helps a lot with my attacking and the power of the deck. So I decided to just take that damage and put myself at 5. Now the issue here, if you see, is I don't actually have any of the Strength of Legends in my hand, which is really awkward. Because ideally I would want to just play a Strength of Legend here and get aggressive, but I can't do that because I don't have one. And I still don't draw it, which is really unfortunate. And, alright. Oh, my bad. I went down to 4 life last time. So here I'm going to play and just try and draw cards to see if I can get to it. The yellow Android 20 is better if you're searching for Strength of Legends because it just draws a card. It doesn't like look at the top for androids like all the rest of them do. And I play this android and look at the top 5 cards to grab a green or yellow android. And I misplay here because... Oh, no, never mind. believe this is where I misplayed and I just misread the card and I thought it said green, blue or yellow android, and it's not. It's blue or green. So I definitely had targets there, just didn't pick one. It's always fun going back and commentating on these matches because I get to see all the times that I mess up. And it's really weird because it always looks so obvious when you're commentating afterwards. I look at them outside, but when you're playing, it just slips your mind because you're concentrating on something else. So yeah, I leave energy up. Luckily here I have 3 negates in hand, so it's going to be pretty hard for him to actually kill me this turn, even with multiple Strength of Legends. But we're going to sit and hopefully we get to it next turn. I play 3 Goku and 3 Vegeta right now. I might actually be changing that to 3 Goku and 4 Vegeta. I ended up liking Vegeta a lot more than Goku, which is kind of surprising because you'd think like the double critical would be really good. But the ability to draw 2 cards and kill a card, ignoring barrier, is just incredibly powerful. So a lot of times we were speculating that it might just be better to drop the Goku, not use his ability, and then drop Vegeta. And Goku gets kind of awkward because next turn, like this, where you're sitting, in order to get his effect, you have to tap your energy again, which is kind of energy inefficient, whereas Vegeta, once you've tapped your energy, you just get all his effects every turn. So as you can see, he does his first swing, which isn't critical at my leader, and I take that one and I get a Strength of Legend. So now I've got a Strength of Legend to play next turn, which puts me in a much, much better spot. He attacks leader into my leader. I just combo a card off my board. I need a green card in my drop anyways. And he clears my other guy on the board, which isn't a huge deal. So I'm going to use Goku's effect to tap him up. So now he's got double critical duel. And he's going to swing at my leader. And I have 2 negates here, so I'm not super worried about it. Fortunately, I don't have anything to grab off of my Android 17, but that's not that big a deal. The important thing was to negate his attack, which I can do again simply by playing a Shocking Death Ball. So that's kind of the weakness of playing Goku, because he didn't actually get to play anything this turn. Yeah, he got some attacks in, but if I have negates, then, I mean, there's not much he can do. Here I'm actually going to make a slight mistake. So on 5 energy, you pretty much always want to charge a blue so that you can play Android 17 Turning the Tide on turn 6, because it needs 3 mono blue energy, or 3 blue energy in order to play him. But I was worried about keeping energy up for my negate, but I think it would have been better, since I have a good amount of life and Shocking Death Ball has the ability to play for free, that I should have charged a blue there. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't make a mistake. I don't have any blue in my hand. So ideally you would want to play a blue there, but I did not have the ability to do so. Here we're going to see, so I get to attack and draw 2 cards, and the first one gets negated, and the second one he's going to combo over. This is really good for me, though, because the 2 red cards he's comboing with are super combos, so now he's down 2 super combos, which is a pretty big deal. And here we're going to swing with our leader, which he combos away, and I get to swing with my negate. This is one of the strengths of having a 20k 1-drop negate, which is pretty ridiculous, is I get to swing with a threatening card after negating. So now we're both sitting at 3 life. I'm not in the best position. I do have 2 super combos, though, which after he's used 2 super combos, he probably doesn't have the other 2 in his hand. So I have a pretty good chance of out-comboing him here, even if he does play another Goku, which he does. So as Goku swings, so he swings at my leader, and I'm going to combo over it because he chose not to combo with it at all. I can simply use my super combos and filter my hand and get rid of some of the 10Ks that I know I'm not going to use. And now he's put in a little bit of an awkward situation, because if he stands up Goku, then he's doing double strikes, which means he can't hit me in 1 kill, or kill me in 1 shot because I have 3 life. So he's going to attack with his leader, and now I really don't want this attack to land either, because that'll put me at 2 life, which means he can stand up as Goku and get 2 attacks. Luckily, he doesn't combo anything into it, so I can just get rid of a 5k to get over it, which is not a big deal. As you can see, I didn't want to combo that blue card because I want to try and get to my 3 blue energy so I can play Android 17 Turning the Tide. For those of you that don't know, Android 17 Turning the Tide says when he comes into play, all of your opponent's battle cards on their, all of your opponent's cards in their hand, and all the cards in your hand, plus all the battle cards on their drop area get shuffled back into their owner's decks, which is very strong. He also has a 30k critical, and we can play him for 6 instead of 7 because he's a regular Android 17 and his entrance cost gets reduced, which makes him a lot better than trying to play him on 7. So as you can see, he plays a Vegeta in order to get rid of my Vegeta, and now I'm going to negate and take a life. And so the first attack I negated with my Android 17, and the second attack I negated with my Vegeta. As you can see, I actually made a slight mistake. I accidentally put a card from my Warp in my hand instead of my life, which you cannot do. So yeah, so I got this Android instead, which is good because I need the blue energy. But I was able to negate both of his attacks, so he couldn't actually get through and kill me. However, I'm still not looking great here because of the fact that here I would normally be able to play my Turning the Tide, which would probably be enough for game, but I can't because I wasn't able to charge a blue energy on turn 4. Or on turn 5, rather. So we are in a kind of an awkward position. It's going to be very hard to get both of those battle cards off the board. So I'm just going to kind of see what I draw, go ahead and attack into his leader. I get a Goku, which is pretty good. And basically I make the decision, I believe here, that I have to try and kill him, because I don't think I'm going to be able to live through the next turn. I have a negate, true, but since I'm down to 2 life, he's going to get minimum 4 attacks with double strike coming in, and they're all 30 or 35, which pretty sure without any super combos I just simply can't take. Also, he has 14 cards in his hand now to my 9, so he could probably pretty easily out combo me too. So we're going to clear his Goku. Actually, I'm sorry. I choose to clear the Vegeta. The reason for that is because the Vegeta draws when it attacks, and I don't want him to be able to attack me. Also, here's something unfortunate as I draw the red negate with no red energy, which kind of sucks. And he has 2 negates for my Vegeta, which does suck, but it puts us a little closer in our hand disparity, where he's got 10. I've got 10 cards in hand, he's got 12. And I have 2 energy up, so I do have the capacity to negate 2 attacks here with my 2 shocking death balls. One's going to cost me a life, but I can still do it. So now it is possible for me to survive, but I'm in a pretty awkward spot still. So he's at 2 life, and if that attack would have gone through, I probably would have gone off and tried to kill him with one of my little android guys, with probably the Android 17 because he's at 9,000 attack. But it didn't go through, he comboed out, so now he is sitting there in a pretty good spot. He has 3 more cards than me in hand, and I only have 2 energy. So we'll have to see, but I'm in a pretty sketch spot here. It is possible for me to live, but it's going to be difficult, and I have to rely on him kind of having not as great a hand. So he's going to swing into my leader. He made a little bit of a misplay there. He could have tapped down that Android 18 so that I couldn't combo with it first with his leader effect, but he didn't do that, so I got a free protection there. And down comes a Vegeta. So he's not going to be able to use his Goku effect this turn, which is good for me. But he is going to clear my Vegeta. If you notice, the reason we keep going for Vegetas is Vegeta gets way more value if he stays on board. And now that we're down to 2 life, which one is attacking doesn't really matter that much because critical doesn't matter. So I've got a green negate. That's easy to do. But this one's going to be a little harder. So now he attacks again, and I have to consider whether I want to pay a life to negate here or not. And I decide that I have to because I don't think I can combo out ahead of him. And this will get me one more card to combo with against the Goku, which could have been something like a super combo, or it could have been... I don't play any blue negates, so it couldn't have been a blue negate. So now I'm sitting at 35 and I'm at 1 life. Yeah, it's his last attack for the turn, but we'll have to see. He has 5 more cards than me in hand. So here we go. He decides to combo out. And if you can see, even with that, he's also got an 8 coming down, but I can't even get over the combo he has here. He had a very good hand, and that's not the right number, but he had a very good hand. And yep, so I lose this round. It was another real close game. The fact that I didn't have my Striker Legend on curve really hurt me, I think. I couldn't keep up the pressure, and he just ended up getting more cards in his hand than me. But yeah, really good game, and we'll have to see what happens in Game 3 tomorrow. Please like, subscribe for the fun climax, and go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.